Hello there. In the early morning hours on Thursday, a boat with up to 50 people on board was said to be in distress in the English Channel. That's what British media reported. The British government confirmed that 4 people were killed. Temperatures have dropped below zero in the region over the past few nights, and that makes it even more dangerous. And as I said, at least 4 people have died in a boat accident in the English Channel. The British government confirmed this on Wednesday afternoon after a boat carrying migrants capsized in the waters between France and Great Britain in the early hours of the morning. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak spoke in Parliament of a tragic loss of life. And according to media reports, 43 people are said to have been rescued alive from the cold water. According to information from Sky News, up to 50 migrants are said to have been on board the boat in distress, as the broadcaster reported, citing a French source. Images released by Sky News show people climbing onto a lifeboat from an overcrowded black inflatable boat in the dark. The Coast Guard, together with the military, police, and border guards, coordinated a search and rescue mission on Wednesday that involved at least 2 helicopters and British and French lifeboats. It was initially unclear what exactly happened to the boat that capsized. The search for missing people will continue for the rest of the day, they said, and Sky News reported, citing inside sources. However, due to the cold temperatures in the past few nights, they have fallen to below zero in the region. The search for survivors was no longer being carried out. A year ago, 27 people died in a boat accident in the English Channel. Most recently, many thousands of migrants made the dangerous crossing towards the United Kingdom. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak only published plans on Tuesday to take tougher action against illegal migration. For someone to make this journey in these temperatures shows how desperate people are, said Alex Fraser of the British Red Cross. Nobody puts their life at risk if they don't have the feeling that there is no other option, he said. And as I said, it's not the first time. Another year ago, 27 people were killed in a boat accident in the English Channel. According to the Ministry of Defence in Britain, around 40,000 people had already made the dangerous journey across the English Channel by mid-November this year. Last year, there were around 28,500 people. Other routes, such as road or rail, are used less frequently after Brexit and corona restrictions because of the stricter checks now. British Home Secretary Suella Braverman, known for a radical stance on migration, wrote on Twitter that her thoughts are with everyone affected. She will be kept informed of the devastating incident, and the authorities are in the process of clarifying the situation. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak wants to limit the illegal entry of asylum seekers through a new agreement with Albania. I reported on that before. In this way, Sunak wants to speed up the processing of the asylum applications that are still open. Sunak also promised more raids to better enforce deportations and is targeting boat migrants in particular. We have to stop the boats, that's how New York Times quoted the British Prime Minister as saying. Politicians and refugees initiatives condemned Sunak in the strongest terms for his asylum policy plans. Dissatisfaction with the Prime Minister is not only growing in politics. And as I said, Prime Minister Sunak only announced new measures on Tuesday, primarily to counteract illegal entry from Albania. Sunak said the new agreement with Albania would make it easier to send illegal immigrants back to Albania immediately. According to Sky News, Sunak has summarized the measures planned for this, which also includes the deal with Albania under a so-called 5-point plan. Among other things, 400 officials are to deal exclusively with asylum applications from people from Albania. British border guards are also to be stationed at the Balkan state's most important airport. A new unit should also monitor crossings on the English Channel more strictly. And as I said, the plan includes 5 points, including intercepting small ships by the military, intelligence, and civilian forces, banning illegal migrants from opening bank accounts, housing asylum seekers in dormitories and military camps, increasing the burden of proof for the asylum seekers, and laws prohibiting illegal aliens from applying for asylum. The last point is potentially contentious under international law, as the mode of entry into a country becomes irrelevant once an asylum application is made. Refugee organizations have also warned that this could affect those who make a valid application. Detention action stated in October, rather than adding to this chaos, Braverman should create safe routes for refugees to reach the UK, including by applying for asylum here, processing people's asylum applications so that they can rebuild their lives in our communities, and end the cruelty of indefinite detention. Sunak said the legislation, which will be introduced early next year, means that people who do not enter the country through legal and safe channels will be detained and quickly returned either to their home country or to a safe country where their asylum application will be examined, which would be a breach of international law. Amnesty International UK said Sunak's statement showed that he either has no idea or frankly doesn't care. Today's announcement is riddled with legal and factual errors and, if implemented, will exacerbate an already disastrous situation created by the Sunak government's policies for people fleeing conflict and persecution, while smugglers, traffickers and other abusers continue to benefit. That was said by Steve Valdez-Simmons, Director of Refugee and Migrant Rights at the NGO Amnesty, in a statement. And meanwhile, Albanian Prime Minister Edi Rama stated that he had repeatedly offered the British government to work with them on the matter and set up a special team, as in the case in other countries. This has been a request of mine since Boris Johnson was Foreign Secretary, and I have repeated it over and over again, because how many times have they come to us and shared their concerns with us, and I have done so again and again. If you have a problem and want our help because we were elected to govern Albania and not Britain, we are ready to form a special team with you, as we have done with other countries, Rama said. He also spoke out against the government's exclusion of Albanians. Don't talk about an Albanian crime. A crime is a crime and has no ethnicity. The number of crossings across the English Channel has, as I said, recently increased significantly, and that with fatal consequences. And I started the video with the people that were killed, and that is nothing that we should take lightly. Tim Nair-Hilton, head of refugee agency Refugee Action, blames the tragedy on the government's hostile policies designed to keep people out of the country rather to keep them safe. Sunak's new legislative proposals are not well received in politics either. Labour Party leader Keir Starmer criticized Sunak for his unworkable shenanigans. The last time the government tried to upgrade an already broken asylum policy, things got worse, Starmer said, according to The Guardian. Refugee organizations sharply condemned Sunak's proposals. The government has proven again that it cannot come up with a workable solution, said Refugee Council Chief Executive Anwar Solomon. According to Hilton, Sunak's proposals are cruel, ineffective, and do nothing to solve the problem. Despite massive criticism, Sunak is sticking to the plans with his asylum policy. We will make it clear that if you enter illegally, no one will have the right to stay. That's how several media outlets quoted the British Prime Minister as saying, and he was stating that he ignores international law with that. There has been no peace since Sunak took office. Sunak could not only lose support in politics, there is dissatisfaction with Sunak's politics within the population. Most recently, on Tuesday morning, many Britons took to the streets to draw attention to economic grievances, and more protests are expected to follow in the winter. According to the German newspaper Handelsblatt, the reasons are usually rapidly increasing living costs, rising mortgage interest rates, and uncontrolled immigration. And in addition, Brexit has made many things worse. That was said by John McCabe, head of the Chamber of Commerce in North East England. Many Britons are wary over the Conservative government's broken Brexit promises. It might not be long before Britain's cohesion begins to crumble, and we saw this begin already. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.